Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central today with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9, bringing you some more stories that need to be told of the days of yore. And we're continuing on today talking about Mr. Benjamin Banneker, but we're going to do it from a slightly different angle. So be ready to tangle while we do it from another angle, because I'd hate to leave you out there starting to dangle. First and foremost, you know what we got to do. You know what you need to do. Give us a like if you're watching on Facebook, a thumbs up if you're watching on the tube, and then go ahead and spread the word throughout the land that Black Facts is here to give anyone who would like a hand, a leg up, a tug up, each one teaching one, each one reaching one. We reaching and teaching and preaching every single day, and you know how we do it because we do it this way. So just show up right here at noon and 9, as this is Doc Ock at noon and 9. Proverb for today. If a child is a skillful player, somebody defeats it with a single seed. If a child is a skillful player, somebody defeats it with a single seed. Now, as I said from the beginning of this month, we're going to be doing all our proverbs this month are going to relate to the game of Ayo, Owade, Mancala. It's going to relate to those games, the ones we play with the seeds. And we go around and around and around and around, and where the seed lands, only I know. So think about that one for a while. If a child is a skillful player, somebody defeats it with a single seed. Because that one is kind of deep. That's kind of a deep proverb. And that is that's a proverb from Nigeria. That's an Ayo proverb. All right, from the Yoruba people in Nigeria. All right, so let's continue on with our story today. But as it is, today we're not so much telling a story as we are giving some insight into Benjamin Banneker and the life of Benjamin Banneker, as well as the trials, tribulations, and travails that he had to deal with being a free black man in America in the 1700s, during the time of the Revolutionary War, mind you. So this is a time when it's heavily on the mind of many Americans, or many colonists. Freedom and democracy are weighing heavy on their mind, unless you're black. And then there's something else that'll weigh heavy on you, but it won't be on your mind. Be on some other part of your body. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go back and I'm going to start part of this over again. I'm going to read this part to you here. This is this is all about a conflict that Banneker had with Thomas Jefferson, the first Secretary of State of the United States of America. So he was having this conflict with Thomas Jefferson. And in terms of this conflict, they wrote letters back and forth. So we actually have a record of what they said to each other and how they responded to each other. And the whole thing is very interesting, how Banneker responds to Thomas Jefferson, because he does not respond as a underling, but more on the level of a peer. In other words, eye to eye, toe to toe, blow for blow. Even though Jefferson had been to school or had a private tutor, whichever, while Banneker had worked with a man at the schoolhouse and basically taught himself. So one was highly educated, formally educated, and then the other one was an autodidact, as we call him. So here we go. We're going to just review some of this just to put you in the right frame of mind. And we're going to start off with our sliz-eyed shizzo. So here we go with the slideshow to go. All right. I like this slideshow. It's pretty fly, I think, actually, myself. All right. Suffer me. Oh, he went on. Banneker goes on to remind Jefferson of his well-documented words. Suffer me to recall to your mind that time in which the arms and tyranny of the British crown were exerted with every powerful effort in order to reduce you, sir, to a state of servitude. It was now, sir, that your abhorrence thereof was so excited that you publicly held forth this true and invaluable doctrine, which is worthy to be recorded and remembered in all succeeding ages. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. End quote. With that, he pinned the greatest statesman into a corner. But, sir, how pitiable it is to reflect that although you were so fully convinced of the benevolence of the Father of mankind, that you should at the same time counteract his mercies in detaining by fraud and violence so numerous a part of my brethren under groaning captivity and cruel oppression, that you should at the same time be found guilty of that most criminal act which you professedly detested in others with respect to yourselves. Banneker backed off by noting that he would not presume to prescribe methods by which the situation may be relieved, and closed by casually mentioning he had included a handwritten copy of his soon-to-be published almanac. Now, Thomas Jefferson responded back with a letter to Benjamin Banneker dated August 30th, 1791. His reply was decisive, quick, and while shorter, was certainly encouraging. Nobody wishes more than I to see such proofs as you exhibit, that nature has given to our black brethren talents equal to those of the other colors of men, and that the appearance of a want of them is owing merely to the degraded condition of their existence both in Africa and America. He wrote on August 30th, 1791, as I stated earlier. He added that he was relaying the almanac to Marquis de Condorcet of the French Academy of Sciences as a document to which your whole color had a right for their justification against the doubts which have been entertained of them, and praised Banneker's work and character in a letter to Condorcet composed that very same day. Jefferson's reply appeared in an edition of the 1793 Almanac and other publications, and Banneker went on to enjoy a moderately successful run with his handiwork, churning out 28 editions of his almanac between 1792 and 1797. The founding father later dismissed Banneker's accomplishments. While Banneker's letter caught Jefferson's attention, it had little effect on his views of slavery. Jefferson became the first owner of enslaved people to occupy the executive mansion as president, and he freed all of 5 enslaved people upon his death in 1826. Furthermore, it seems the founding father eventually rejected Banneker's example of black potential. His evolved views captured in an 1809 letter to poet and politician John Barlow, which downplayed Banneker's abilities and suggested that assistance was needed to accurately complete the almanacs. Unfortunately, much of Banneker's writing was destroyed in a fire that engulfed his home after his death in 1806, but the surviving works offer a clear rebuttal to the views of Jefferson and many others of the era. Here was a black man fully capable of enterprise and intellectual achievement and wasn't afraid to let some very important people know it. Now, doesn't it seem odd that immediately after the funeral of Benjamin Banneker, that his house would just burn to the ground? I mean, doesn't that just seem to be very coincidental kind of timing? And that all of his papers would be destroyed in the fire? It just seems to me to be very suspicious. Very suspicious. And as a matter of fact, Jefferson himself, many of his papers were destroyed by fire. But in the case of Jefferson, he destroyed them himself. And what papers was it he was destroying? Well, many of them were the letters his mother had written back and forth to different people. So letters his mother had received and letters his mother had sent out, had written herself. And Jefferson went to great lengths to not only destroy those letters, but he went to great lengths to collect them up, because he had to go back and contact people that he knew that she had written to and get the letters from them and then bring them back home and burn them up in his fireplace. One of his many fireplaces. You know, he had more than one, right? But the irony here is that Jefferson was the bibliophile's bibliophile. The man collected books, papers, documents, enough to start the Library of Congress. That's right. The United States Library of Congress is based on the collection of that Jefferson had started at his house in Monticello. So why is it then that he destroyed his mother's letters in particular? And at the same time, we also have to question, why is it that Benjamin Banneker's house burned down right after he was put 6 feet underground? It just seems to be a very odd coinkydink. And then if you noted in some of the other readings I was doing previously, I think from this same paper here, it was talking about, no, there's another one I think I'm going to read about the design of the U.S. Capitol. Yeah, this one was not about the Capitol, was it? Did it talk about the Capitol? No. There's another one. There's some more papers out here that talk about the U.S. Capitol and how the U.S. Capitol, Washington, D.C., when it was laid out, that many of the papers, journals, documents, day books, etc., that were used by the surveyors, in other words, Ellicott and Banneker, they disappeared too. Miraculously disappeared. And why, again, is that? Now, some people have speculated, and it's not really hard to speculate it, that maybe they disappeared because people were already, early on, not waiting until later, busy trying to downplay, eradicate, erase the work of said African Benjamin Banneker. So it's important then that we recall his story on more than one occasion, because I've read his story before, and pass that story on to our children as a cautionary tale. That no matter what you do here in America, it's very easy to erase your story, your history, sweep it under the rug, etc. And we'll be seeing more examples of this later in the instance of Katherine Johnson and the black computers that were used to fly man to the moon. That's right, fly man to the moon. But we'll talk about that on another occasion. So for now, this is Doc Ock signing off. We'll be back tonight with more about Benjamin Banneker. We're going to finish off his biography. So check it out. Be here without fear, because we're going to be here spreading some cheer about Benjamin Banneker tonight. You won't want to miss it. In the meanwhile, peace out without a doubt. Look for us again here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in the meanwhile, we hope you enjoyed our rhyme. Please don't forget, if you haven't done it already, give us a like on Facebook. On YouTube, give us a thumbs up. And then go ahead and subscribe to the Tubular Black Facts channel right here on YouTube. Do it now. It's totally easy. It's very easy, and it's painless as well. So do it today, and it'll make you feel really swell. Peace out, y'all. With justice, of course. No other way to do it.